Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and a lot of folks wanted me to do a video on the whole Jordan Davis, Michael Dunn situation that happened on February 12th when Michael Dunn was basically not convicted of first degree, second degree, or even manslaughter in the death of Jordan Davis. So this situation has been crazy. I've been following up with everything. I've been keeping up on everything. I really want to just kind of fall back and see how everything was going to play in the media. So now the second juror, which is a 21-year-old African-American girl, her name is Christiana Miles. She's speaking up about how her and the rest of the jurors came up with the decision. She's claiming that nothing was based on race and that they want to be as fair as possible. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys her video clip now, and then I'll come back with the rest of my commentary.
Juror number 8 is Christiana Miles. She's just 21 years old. She was also the youngest juror on this panel, and we spent about an hour talking a little bit about everything. We talked about the case, about the partial verdicts, and even about the swift community reaction that followed those verdicts, specifically about race and whether race played a role, in her opinion, in the case or in the jury deliberations. Take a listen to what she had to say about that.
I never once thought about, oh, this was a black kid, this was a white guy, because that wasn't the case.
So people who say, you know, here's another white guy who got away with shooting and killing a black kid, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that they really should acknowledge themselves on the law.
If this case wasn't about race, then what was it about for you?
It was about justice.
Justice.
When I walked into it, I just wanted to bring justice to whoever it was. If it was Michael Dunn, I wanted to bring justice to him. If it was Leland, Tevin, Tommy, ofJordan, I wanted to bring justice to them.
Now, Miles told me that she believes that Michael Dunn was guilty of second-degree murder for shooting and killing Jordan Davis, but because this jury could not reach a unanimous verdict on the murder charge, she says she felt they did the right thing by coming back with just a partial verdict. She also says she hopes the next jury, if in fact there is a next jury, if there's a retrial, she hopes that they'll be able to reach an agreement on that charge.
Okay, so you guys just watched the news clip, and a lot of folks are going in on her, not only on her physical appearance, which is a shame, they're also upset at the fact that, you know, how can you find this man guilty of attempting to murder the others in the car, but then you guys don't find him guilty of killing the one kid that did die in the car? You know, so this whole verdict was really, really crazy. So now that she's spoken out and she's come out with her whole statement as to why they came out with that verdict, Jordan Davis's parents are also speaking out. They spoke out to Anderson Cooper yesterday. Jordan Davis's mother, Lucia Beth, and his father, Ron Davis. They told Anderson Cooper that they're not buying what Christiana Miles had to say to the media. They're also saying that she's not coming off as genuine, and how can this case not be about race? So I'm going to go ahead and play you guys their news clip, and then I will come back with the rest of my commentary.
When the juror says that this wasn't about race, in her opinion, but for her about justice, can you separate race from justice in this case?
I don't think she's being genuine. You know, for her as an African-American female to go into this case with this type of evidence, with this type of rage, with him saying thug music, how can you as a juror not think that this was about race? Because before you even met Jordan, before you even looked at Jordan, looked at his clothes or anything else, you heard rap music. And so you assume that it's all African Americans in the car, and you said, I hate that thug music. So it is about race.
Do you think she is naive? I mean, to say that this isn't about race, or race is not involved in this?
I think she didn't want it to be about race. Right. I think she really hoped that that was not an element of it. But it's always been an element of what's happened in our case.
She said she thought Michael Dunn was a nice guy.
That was very surprising. You know, she thought he was a nice guy, because in my mind, nice guys don't shoot unarmed teenagers.
When you heard that, Ron, what did you think?
Right, and if she thought he was a nice guy, that tells me she wasn't paying attention to the testimony. When Ms. Rauer testified, he never said that there was a weapon in the car, nor gun, nor stick, bottle, anything. Mm-hmm. And he drove to the hotel, ate pizza, drove back to his home the next day. Not one time did he say there was a weapon. And who would do that? If somebody threatened you with a shotgun, you would tell the closest person to you, they threatened me with a shotgun. Never said one word, never dialed 911. That doesn't sound like a good person.
One thing the jury did not hear are these audio recordings of Michael Dunn in the jail prior to the trial. And I want to play two things that he said and get your reaction to them.
I was thinking about that today. I was like, I'm the fucking victim here. I was the one who was victimized. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Like, they attacked me. I'm the victim.
Right.
I'm the victor, but I was the victim too.
And when I heard Michael Dunn calling himself the victim, I mean, I was shocked by that. I can't imagine what went through your mind.
Delusional.
Yeah. And the second thing, and the key word, really, the key phrase is that he said victor and victim. So he's like he's in an arena, and there is a victor. Like there was some kind of fight, and he was the victor. When, if you listen to the instruction, it says you can use force against force. There was never any force used against him. So how do you use force against force when you had no force? Not an inch of your hair was touched. Your car wasn't even touched.
He kept saying in those audio recordings, it's like I was attacked. Well, saying it's like you were attacked is not saying, I mean, he was not attacked, but the idea that he perceived himself, or what he's claiming that he perceived himself as being attacked, is kind of stunning.
And he's been the aggressor. He was the aggressor initially. He was the aggressor throughout the entire altercation. So for him to consider himself a victim, but victory is his because he shot to kill, to preserve his own life. I mean, that's atrocious in my mind. For him to have that train of thought is atrocious.
What do you think he saw when he saw your son, when he saw those young men?
I think he saw in his mind what he deemed was a thug, a young black man that was a thug. I think in his mind he doesn't know this America. He doesn't know we exist. That's not been in his realm, his environment. And so therefore, sometimes what you don't know, what you're not exposed to, you don't understand, and you definitely don't see it.
I want to play one other thing that he was recorded saying in jail.
She found some YouTube videos of these guys, and they're all gangster rappers. Because when the police said that these guys didn't have a record, I was like, I wonder if they're just flying under the radar.
Right.
Because they were bad.
See, that's the only way he could live with himself. See, when you do something that crazy, that harmful in society, the only way you can live with yourself is find a way to say that I was justified in doing. Because he has to justify even to himself, why did I shoot these kids?
So you guys just watched a news clip. This whole situation to me is sad. Do I feel like he should have been charged with some type of murder? Yes, I do. Even one of the jurors were saying that the reason why they didn't come back with the murder verdict is because that they were trying to figure out the whole self-defense thing. But I don't see how they can say self-defense or even say that they were stuck on the self-defense when no weapon was ever found. This is a case of another person, like I said before, acting out on their emotions, seeing things that's not there. How do you feel like you're entitled to tell somebody else to turn down their music? Does loud music and super loud bass bother a lot of us? Yes, it does. It bothers me because my ears are sensitive, but I in no way have the right to go and confront somebody and tell them to turn their music down. No one else is in charge of anybody else's life. The only person's life that you are capable of controlling is that of your own. And that's what gets me with people who feel like they have this self-entitlement issue to tell folks what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. He had no business going up to their car telling them to turn down anything. This man could have saved himself the headache. Now he's looking at going to prison for the next 60 years if he would have established some type of emotional self-control. All he saw was a bunch of black kids who he coined as thugs, playing thug-ass jungle music, and it just took him over the edge. And it's sad because you have a lot of folks out here who feel like they have the right to take somebody's life over some nonsense like this. Sad because this young man lost his life for nothing more than not turning down the music. You know, were words exchanged? I'm sure they were. You know, somebody came and told me to turn down my music and I'm minding my business, I'm going to get kind of flipped too. But it's to the point now where you just can't get flipped with folks anymore because you have too many psychos running around out here who feel like it's their job to patrol other people. You know, like I said, this man could have saved himself the whole headache had he exerted some emotional self-control. Had he said, you know what, I can't stand these thug-ass niggas and I'm tired of this bullshit, I'm just going to pull off and get the hell away from them, he would have saved himself the headache of going to prison and Jordan Davis would still be here. This is a problem that's going on nowadays. We're so quick to fly off the handle. If somebody even looks at us the wrong way, says something that we don't like, we get so upset and we get so enamored that we're ready to go pick up a gun and kill somebody. You know, and I think that's the thing that bothers me sometimes with some of these gun owners. While I'm all for guns, I'm all for the Second Amendment, what bothers me is you have a lot of gun owners who somehow, because they have a gun, all of a sudden their balls grow 10 times as big. Mark my words, if this man did not have a gun on him, he wouldn't have said a damn thing to them teenagers. You know, I feel like sometimes when people have guns, they feel like that makes them tough and invincible, and they want to dare somebody to even test them. They want to dare somebody to even say something to them that they deem is out of pocket, so that way they can flex their muscles or shoot their gun. Had Michael Dunn not had that gun, I can bet you any money he wouldn't have said shit to them young boys. Plus he had that gun and he was feeling himself, he thought he could exert power through that gun. You know, it's sad we're losing a whole generation of kids, and for what? For something as petty as not turning down their music. My heart definitely goes out to Jordan Davis's parents. You know, this case was about race. You know, I do feel like he saw a bunch of black kids, he looked at them as thugs and he was upset. And he felt some type of way. And it's just unfortunate that in today's society, you know, folks want to claim that we live in a post-racial America, and we really don't. You know, people see race first, and then they try and get to know you after the fact. I hope people take this as a lesson of learning emotional self-control. Regardless if he was charged with murder or not charged with murder, he's still going to prison for the next 60 years. And that's where he deserves to stay for taking this young man's life. So anyways, go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire situation. And how do you feel about Chrishana Miles' statement where she says that she deliberated not based on race? And how do you feel about what Jordan Davis's parents had to say about Chrishana Miles' statement as well? So go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire tragic situation. All right, deuces.